If you are into Coleman lantern enthusiasts, you definitely seen these generator needles which is look like this. What happened if this generator needles broken which is look like this? You will definitely have to watch this video until the end cause I will show you guys how to do it yourself your own generator needles. Wait no more, let's do it together now. This generator needle DIY method can be applied to most Coleman lanterns. However, in this guide, we will primarily focus on the Coleman 200A model, which looks like this. If the needle in your other Coleman lantern model is broken, you can use the original needle as a reference to precisely measure and create a DIY replacement for yourself. This DIY video guide may not be 100% perfect, but I have tested it many times, lighting it up and leaving it for more than 14 hours during the Stove and Lantern Malaysia endurance competitions, and it works. If you have better ways or methods to DIY this generator needle, please leave a comment below. I will definitely appreciate your sharing. So let's get started by showing you the tools needed to complete this DIY generator needle project. It's pretty straightforward and doesn't require as many tools compared to my previous video on the DIY Coleman leather pump cup. If you haven't watched that video, I will leave the link above for your reference. Here you are, the link appears on my upper right. Let's start from the left side. Obviously a brass pipe or tube, if you may call it. Remember, don't purchase a brass rod because, as you may notice, there's a difference between a pipe or tube and a rod. A rod is without a hole, whereas a pipe or the tube contains a hole in the brass. The reasons we are opting for a pipe or tube is that we need to insert the needle into it, as I will demonstrate later in this video. The brass tube purchased in two sizes, 1.0 mm and 1.5 mm in diameter. Avoid purchasing the 2.0 mm size. As you can see, I bought this just to demonstrate that it doesn't fit into the generator spring. Next, grab yourself a small nail and a screw that looks like this. Alright, it's a type of screw commonly used for the partitions contractors. I will show you guys later on in this video why we actually need a nail and a screw for this DIY project. Next will be the scissors, long loose pliers, wrench size 11. Specifically for removing the Coleman frame and generator, which I will demonstrate later on in this video. Next will be this cable crimping plier tool, size from 1.5 mm to 16 mm. Of course, this is the only clamping tool I have. I will be using this and I will definitely demonstrate for you guys. Last but not least, I'm using the single core wire with 0.1 mm, actually less than 0.1 mm diameter. You can easily find this at any electrical shop, and I will share the purchase link in the description below. If you're new to this channel, my name is Snow. Welcome to SnowMakerTV YouTube channel. Basically, this channel is all about outdoor adventures such as camping moment and also coffee content. Basically, this channel also does some DIY videos and also campsite review and also camping items unboxings and also review. If you like content like this, please click that like button and also subscribe to SnowMakerTV channel. You will definitely help this channel a little. After the part 1, 2 and 3, now we actually at part 4. Previous 1, 2, 3 parts sharing you guys with the tools and the material and also introductions of this DIY Coleman lantern generator needle. Okay, now we are at part 4, which is dismantle the Coleman lantern. First, remove the handle of the Coleman lantern by putting pressure using your thumb on the left and on the right, gently. Alright, and put that aside. And next we'll be unscrewing the top nut put that aside and remove the top vent and the glass together. Of course, use the wrench size 11 that I shared with you guys earlier on in this video. Unscrew the nut by turning counterclockwise. And put that aside. And remove the burner assembly gently. And put that aside. And this is how it looks like. Next, remove the generator nut by inserting the same wrench and turning it counterclockwise, which is this way. Alright, and remove the wrench and turn the nut counterclockwise and remove it gently, which is looks like this. And remember to turn the knob upwards so that you're able to remove the entire components inside the generator. Alright, as you can see, the generator pin is still hooked, the bracket of this generator. Then gently using your fingertip, remove it. As you can see, the entire components is still inside. And put that generator aside. And finally, and this is how it looks like. Of course, next I will be showing you guys how to DIY the generator needle. And we don't need this part anymore. Putting that aside. Alright, now let's focus on this generator. And removing everything from inside, it should looks like this. Of course, if the needle, which is this one, the tip of the needle, accidentally gets inside the generator pipe, use a small hook or screw to remove it. And this is how it looks like if it got stuck. Gently. And if you're able to reach out the rest of the components, the brass mesh and also the spring, and remove it, and this is how it looks like. Alright, of course, if your lantern has been using many times without maintaining the generator, right, and you sometimes can't remove the internal spring, needle and also the brass mesh or the paper tube, I won't be covering that in this video. This video mainly focusing on DIY generator needle only. If you want me to create a video on this topic, please leave a comment in the section's description below. Lastly, gently remove this nut using the pliers, or I will be using the long loose plier. And this is how it looks like. Alright, now let's move on to part 5. So I'll be using these originals from Coleman lantern 200A, which is broken at the tip of the needle. And grab yourself one of the material, which is 1.5 mm brass tube using a long loose pliers. Place the brass on the pliers until the edge of the tube and bend it. Make sure bend it gently and make sure you grip it hard and bend it. Bend to 90 degrees. Alright, and this is how it looks like. Alright, after you bend 90 degrees on the brass tube, then move your long loose plier towards this side, as you can see, at the tip of the 90 degree. Then bend, make sure straight 180 degrees, which is looks like this, and bend inwards towards the 90 degrees, the tip of the brass conduit, roughly around 135 degrees. Alright, which looks like this. And again, after you bend 135 degrees, then move up your long loose pliers slightly higher and bend outwards, which is this way. And the 90 degrees brass conduit is facing this side. And now bend towards the right hand side. So here you are. Hope you guys are able to see it because it's pretty small. The brass contour straight, and there's a bend and 90-degree bend. So I repeat again. First of all, hold the tip of the long loose plier and bend 90 degree. Of course, this brass contour are already bent. Then move up at the tip of the 90 degree, which looks like this. Bend 135 degree towards inwards, which is this way. After you bend, move up a little bit, which looks like this, and bend back straight towards this way. Grab yourself the scissors, and currently on the table we have two brass contour. One is the existing one, the broken one, and now is on my right hand side is the new one, the brass contour, which is just bent just now. So grab yourself the existing, which is broken at the edge of the needle. Grab both the new one and the old one and putting together. Alright, putting together, and make sure and lay on the table to make sure it's even. So next, grab yourself the scissors. As you can see, the generator needle, and I want you to cut same length between the line over here. As you can see, on the top of the tip is slightly smaller in diameter, and after this line is a slightly bigger diameter, which is below this line is 1.5 mm, and above this line is 1.0 mm size of diameter. So cut it according to the line. Okay, as you can see, and remove that aside. Alright, and putting this aside. Alright, this is how it looks like after cutting it. Even over here, as you can see, I cut according to this line from the existing Coleman lantern needle. So due to cutting process, you may notice that the hole being bent. Alright, here you are. Hope you guys are able to see it. Now use the small nail and the screw to apply pressure and turn it, which looks like this. And turn it. You can try either way, just to make the brass contour, the hole bigger, so that you're able to insert the 1.0 mm brass contour into this 1.5 mm brass contour. But as you can see, the brass contour, the hole is slightly bigger after using the nail and the screw to turn it. Alright, now onto the most interesting part. Grab yourself the 1.0 mm brass tubes. Using this 1.0 mm, you notice that it doesn't insert into the 1.5 mm tube, which is already bent, which looks like this. As you can see, you couldn't insert it. So what you all need to do is basically grab yourself, you need to grind it at the edge of this 1.0 mm brass contour with a sandpaper. So to speed up the process for grinding the 1.0 mm brass contour, I purchased 600 size of the sandpaper. Since I have a grinding machine, I'll be using it to speed up the work. Even if you are using sandpaper, it shouldn't take much of your time. As you all know, brass is a pretty soft material. Grind it around half an inch from the pointed edge upwards back to a 1.0 mm diameter. What I normally do is I grind and try to insert it until it's able to go in at least half an inch of the 1.5 mm brass contour. That will be perfect. Now let's start grinding. Almost getting there. Alright, finally I'm able to grind, which looks like this. I hope you guys are able to see it. Pointing looks like pretty sharp. That's where you're able to insert it into the 1.5 mm brass contour. Do remember this, when you grind the 1.0 mm brass contour, right, make sure you turn it like this consistently. When you grind it, turn it consistently, right, then you're able to get a nice diameter. Alright, after I think less than 60 seconds, I managed to grind it, which is looks like this. So now I try to insert it. As you can see, I'm able to insert it at least 1 inches. And what you all need to do is to put a little bit more pressure on inside. Alright, so this is how it looks like. And of course, I would like to share with you guys, I did try using just 1.5, making a DIY on just one piece of 1.5. It seems it's more tougher to actually join between the 1.0 and also 1.5. As I mentioned earlier on in the video, by joining this, I tested, I even joined the endurance competitions and able to last for 14 hours. So I even turned the knob up and down of the Coleman lantern and it still works. So this video, I make sure I tested it out, I DIY, I tested it out and make sure it works, only I create this video for you guys. Now grab yourself these clipping pliers. Using this, I will use the edge of the pliers and gently clamp it. It should look like this. Alright, using this clamp, as you can see, this is 1.5. I'm not gonna use 1.5 because 1.5 the gap is too big. I'll be using the edge of the tip of these pliers. So let us show you guys. As you can see, the joint between the 1.0 and 1.5 mm. I grab it and I put at the edge of this plier. Not sure you guys able to see it, and gently compress it. There's a bend. Alright, normally what I do both sides, and now I'm doing the other side slightly lower, and I'm gonna pressure it. Alright, pressure it and compress it. And you see, I try to taking out, I'm not able to take it out as I already clamped it on the edge of this 1.5 mm. Next, grab yourself the scissors again and cut the 1.0 mm brass tube to match the measurements of the existing needle, which is here. So as like just now, when cutting the 1.5 mm brass contour, put on the table and make sure it's even at the edge and measure it. Alright, here you are. Broken needle at the side, and this is the new one. And grab yourself the 0.1 wire to this length. Normally I will cut slightly longer, and this is how it looks like. And insert it inside the 1.0 mm brass tubes, leaving roughly an inches exposed. Okay, let me do it. Insert. Right, I'm not sure you guys are able to see it. I managed to insert it. So after inserting the 0.1 wire to this length, roughly around 1 inches, which should look like this, then grab yourself the clamp again, use at the edge of this clamp and put at the edge of this 1.0 mm brass contour. Alright, this is how it looks like, and clamp it gently, not too hard because it's very fragile. And at the bottom here, I will normally do it again. Clamp it gently. Alright, after clamping it, the tip of the 1.0 brass contour and the slightly below both sides, as you can see, when I pull the wire, the 0.1 mm wire, you're not able to pull it out. So it's quite stagnant inside the 1.0 mm brass contour. So now, grab yourself the scissors and cut the wire, so approximately around 3 mm. And this is how it looks like. Finally, we completed the generator needle. Once you completed, make sure to try it by inserting the needle into the spring, which is this spring, and the nut, to prevent stuck in between the nut and the spring. Alright, let's try it out inserting the nut. Alright, as you can see, we managed to insert the nut of the generator. I will show you guys again, lifting out and lifting in, and the needle is go through. Alright, and let's try inserting the spring. As you can see, I'm not able to insert the generator needle into the spring, as you can see, because of the clamp. So what I do, normally I will grind it a little bit just on the left and on the right, and I definitely able to insert it inside the spring. Back to my grinding machine, I managed to grind the left and the right side, and slightly smaller now, and let's try inserting the generator needles into the spring. As you can see, I managed to insert it. Alright, let's assemble all these generator components into the Coleman lantern tank. Finally, this will be the last part when we are about to assemble all the components of the generator into this Coleman lantern tank over here, the valve over here. And of course, the last steps, very important, that I would like to share with you guys. Once you guys manage to DIY the Coleman lantern needle, make sure you guys try it, insert it. As you can see, when we bend the 90 degrees of the brass conduit, make sure try it, and if you guys are able to see it, you're not able to turn the knob down, which is the 90 degrees is a little bit too long according to the long loose plier we use. Alright, so what we need to do is take a scissors and gently cut a little bit more. You cut a bit and try it again. If you can't again, then you try again. So that's normally what I do. Cut a little bit and I adjust it using the long loose plier to make sure it's round of the surface, and try it again. So here you are. So it doesn't come out. Alright, when the knob is down. Alright, putting all together before we fire up, picking up the spring and also the brass mesh gently, and insert the newly DIY brass generator needle. Insert it gently. Alright. Of course, the nut, picking up yourself a long loose plier or plier, just gently tighten it. When you're inserting the needle that looks like this, make sure the knob is upwards and going in slowly, and turn it slowly, so to make sure the needle wire, it doesn't stuck inside the nut. It may bend it or break it. So when you see the generator touches the valve here, meaning the needle is already inserted to the nut. After that, hold it like this and turn the knob. Look at the tip, whether the wire is it in and out at the same time when you're turning the knob, which looks like this. Last but not least, the nut. Remember to put it back, the nut. Grab yourself the wrench size 11, just to have a gentle tighten it. Let's fire up and try it out, the new DIY generator needle. Here you are. Left, right, up, down, left, right. Once again, thank you for tuning in into SnowMakerTV YouTube channel. Hope this DIY content able to give you some information that you're able to create your own generator needles. Hope to see you guys on the coming next content. Peace out!